over in Qatar. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure. It's good to be still on the show. I didn't actually think we'd get a good reception here, but it sounds good. It sounds okay, and managed to settle in slightly. I don't know why I was so tired after the journey, but I think also I was slightly tired because I was at the opening game, and that would exhaust anyone.
Well, indeed. Give us your early impressions of this World Cup on and off the pitch.
I love to go to anything and try to be as open-minded as I possibly can be. That's what I want to be. We all have our biases and we all have where we're coming from. And I had all sorts of caveats to what I thought about the stadiums. You know, beautiful stadiums, but they cost a lot in money and in lives. But also, you know, the regime that we're under just now. If you're working in Qatar. So you take all those things into account and then you just say, right, okay, what do the Qataris think? What do the people who are working under the Qataris think? And then you eventually get past all that and think, okay, we've got a World Cup on there. How's that going to look? And it's a bit weird, I have to say. You know, it is quite weird. It's unbelievably well organised. But I would say the rent-a-crowd that they had in for the Qatari first game was conning nobody from like a minute in. I mean, really? Honestly. I was 5 minutes after half time and I said, when I was doing the commentary, I don't think they're coming back. I don't think the fans are coming back. You know, the Qatari team didn't turn up for the first half and the fans didn't turn up for the second half. And I'm going, I've been here before. This is my third opening World Cup game, right? There's a ceremony and the vast majority of people aren't football fans. They're there to see the ceremony, they couldn't care less. And nowadays, when you've got the mobile, you just take the picture and say, I was there. Right? So I'm trying not to gauge it all by the first game. But it does seem a bit, and I use this, I'm trying to use the right word for it. It's a bit soft. It really is a bit soft. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel passionate yet. It may well turn into that. The fans are fabulously well behaved. It's very nice so far. All that sort of stuff is absolutely fine. But I was kind of giving them a wee bit of leeway. But I heard a story tonight, and if this story's true, I'm fuming. I'm off the scale. And I'm sure, I don't know if you talked about it in the show yet, about the American journalist apparently who wasn't let in because he was wearing a rainbow badge. And if that is the case, and if that turns out to be proven, honestly, I'd say England, just everybody wear them, just annoy the hell out of FIFA and annoy the hell out of the Qataris, because don't ask for a World Cup when you can't be inclusive to everybody who wants to go and see a game. You don't get to decide who can come in and who can and can't come in and see a game of football. You don't get to decide that. If you want to decide that, you don't get the game. You don't get the competition. And it's if that's true, I know I shouldn't be shocked by it because we know what the laws are, but that is unbelievable if that turns out to be true.
But we've seen a foot put down in the last 24 hours by FIFA, really by Qatar and by extension FIFA, on the One Love armbands. And we've seen the climb down from the European countries. Harry Kane, Gareth Bale, any number of other European captains and managers had talked in advance of this tournament about definitely wearing these armbands. And really, in some respects, I think all of us thought these armbands were a touch wishy-washy to begin with. And then suddenly FIFA almost imbued them with a sense of gravitas by saying, well, you definitely can't wear them or there'll be a yellow card. And what followed on the back of that threat was the joint statement from the federations, joint one from all these European countries. As national federations, we can't put our players in a position where they could face sporting sanctions, including bookings. So we've asked the captains not to attempt to wear the armbands in FIFA World Cup games. Are you disappointed with that decision?
Yes, I am, and more than disappointed. I know the answer. The answer is simple. All 11 players from both sides walk on with an armband. Excellent. Send us all off. Good. Because the only reason this is happening with FIFA is because they think they're going to lose the money for the television. Right? This is what this is. This is the television money. It's always been about money. And we know it's always been about money and corruption, right? So it's all about money. But they got it, so you start behaving yourself. The fact that they're not behaving themselves now, not doing the right thing now, not even coming close to it. Okay then, football, answer back. Now football isn't FIFA. That just happens to be the governing body. Football could be better than that. And I would be hoping that if you can't carry on a tournament if everybody walks out with an armband on and you send them all off. You can't carry on. So you win that. You can beat that. I just don't think they've got the gumption to do it, and I'm saddened by that. But if that, it just looks that way just now, and the change. Funnily enough, the no beer law at the games, it kind of didn't hit me as much. Selfishly, I'm not a beer drinker, but I live in Scotland. They don't have beer at games. You can survive that. Some cultural things. I get the culture. This is something completely different. This is, it's bizarre to do this. The other thing is, and this is the subtlety of it, they're not banning gay people coming in. They're banning people making a statement, a political statement about it. So that's a different thing, isn't it? That's a very different thing. And you have to kind of slightly pause for thought when you do that. But even so, if they're going to decide what I can and can't do, what if they decide tomorrow, we're not letting red-haired people in?
Well, Gianni Infantino was once a red-headed man, as we know. Patton suffered incredible hardship as a result. So they'll never do that. Doesn't this expose, though, unfortunately for Harry Kane, who always seems like a very decent person, and all the other European countries and their managers and the various captains and the federations, it does expose the extent to which this armband protest was not heartily felt. It's not something they're willing to take any consequence for. And I thought a yellow card actually was kind of not a bad deal. I mean, if there were points deductions here to be discussed, then I could see how the federations and the team and the management would be looking around saying, well, do we want to put our performance at this tournament in total jeopardy? But a yellow card? I mean,
No, but this is not that. You have to look at the rules. It's not that, honestly. The rules are, if you're inappropriately dressed, right, and wearing something that is is making a political statement or whatever, you will get a booking.
Yeah.
Then you remove it. What if you don't remove it? That's the point, isn't it? So you walk on with the band and the referee gives you a yellow card. You're going to just take it off then? I don't think that's the deal.
Well, I would think my penance for wearing this is a yellow card, and I'm leaving it on, and off we go. I've taken the yellow, and you think that the match would almost not begin until it was removed, no?
Yeah. So if you're wearing it to say I'm proud of wearing it,
yeah,
and I'm happy to wear it, and then you get a yellow card, you look weak taking it off.
You can't. No, I would have thought the referee says, "Well, we'll start the game."
But you're still inappropriately dressed. You can't start a game with only one boot on.
Okay.
You have to be dressed correctly for a game of football.
Okay.
So there, you then get into another position where do you go from there? And it escalates. And which I would be happy. Can I take it down a slightly different direction? Yeah. And I like where you're going there, because I think we're both trying to get to roughly the same place. The football can push back. Football's pushed back before. When players started taking the knee, that wasn't the associations that decided that. It wasn't them. That was footballers that decided that. And eventually, with weighted numbers, they did the two whistles, and people took the knee, and it became accepted for a while. Now, whether you agree or don't agree with that, it's neither here nor there. They can have an effect. Football people and football players over the years have bounced these people into these things. I know it. I've been part of some of these things. The anti-racism stuff that they would never, ever allow us to do, which I always did. They are now the main proponents of it. I mean, they're the ones that will walk in with the stop racism and put the stuff inside the racism. So they decide everything. No, only when you pressure them.
Yeah.
That's the only time it happens, when you pressure them to do the right things. And it's a time for pressure. It's a time. And by the way, I'll get a knock on my door in about 2 minutes here, by the way.
I know, be careful. What further, I suppose, exposes the weakness, frankly, of the English Federation and all the other federations was the Iranian players refusing to sing their national anthem. We saw Iranian fans booing their own anthem. There was the extraordinary picture of the Iranian female fan, not singing the anthem, in tears, buckets of tears, applauding her players. This incredibly powerful moment. And it was an amazing moment, actually. It could be a definitive one at this World Cup. So again, suddenly not taking a yellow card and seeing what transpires, it just looks so weak.
Exactly. When everyone's been talking about this, and Qatari's playing the first game, where it's happening, and all the various controversies, and I'm thinking, no, Iran's the big one. That's the real one here. That's the one that I am most upset and worried about currently. Now, it doesn't mean, the people of Abu Dhabi have had and people are LGBT are having. The problems in Iran just now that everyone's having, the killings that are happening at the moment are, as of the moment, unbelievable, and they're present, and they were almost ignored for a while, and not ignored certainly Western press and certain parts of the Western press. It is gigantic. It is one of the most important things that's happening in the world football, and to some degree, the insidious position that the Iranian players have been put in is incredible. Two of the players they didn't get into the squad because of, they didn't sing their national anthem last time. And this is a story and we all know now. But the families are back home. They need to go back home. The state, what they're doing just now is extraordinary. That's just off the scale bravery. That's off the scale incredible stuff. And I know it's sophisticated and complicated when you get into the politics of it, but I'm so moved by that. And I agree with you. It's one of the most incredible moments of the competition so far.
Yeah.
If it's all been done for the right reasons, which I suspect it is.
Yes. Carlos Queiroz really covering himself in glory. If the fans don't want to support the team, they should stay at home. His comments after this extraordinary moment. On the pitch, England, we were just making the point in comparison with 20 years ago where the golden generation would be outplayed by Trinidad and Tobago. England have now mastered the technical aspects of keeping possession and dominating games, certainly against opposition like this. And they were very good. I mean, I don't know how much you can read into 6-2 against Iran, but certainly all of the goals were very, very impressive. This was a good performance?
It was, yeah. Again, there is the caveat. It's not just Iran. It's a very bad Iran for a multitude of reasons. I mean, even just the Carlos Queiroz thing. They were doing brilliantly until they brought him in. He's doing absolutely magnificently until they brought him in. But he's not a big enough name, right? And they bring him in. You think, oh, come on, give us a break. So that's a monumental own goal by them for a kick-off. So they'll take that into account. But I think it is the fact. I think it's dead simple. And I know a lot of people are talking about it now. And we had a wee chat about it a few weeks ago. England, you don't win the World Cup with back five the way you play. You've not got enough creativity up front, and you'll get done in the end. I don't think you'll do it. You'll need to, at some points in time, go for the back four and allow some of that creative ability you've got on the damn field. I did it today, and it did look exceptional. Now, it may be harder against other teams. It will be harder against other teams. And yes, you did give away 2 goals. I'm not convinced of the penalty for the second one. But it did give away 2 goals. It doesn't matter. Why not? If you're going to be remembered in history forever, you may as well have a right go at it. And he's got the quality of players there to go and play with enough attacking players. And yes, maybe your defence isn't brilliant. And Maguire looks as if he's going to be out as well now. But if you believe in your players enough to score enough goals, I think they're up there with a chance. Semi-finals at least. And if they got to the semi-finals, they'd be applauded for it, especially if they played a wee bit more open football. And it's the first time I've seen them. I've played in teams before where I remember playing for Scotland against Germany and Scotland against Netherlands, and the manager doesn't let us off the leash until the second half. And we're 2-0 down. And you go and batter them. You think, well, why didn't you just let us have a go? All those players will be feeling that. They will all be feeling that. And I just hope, for England's sake, now I'm no England fan, I've actually, can I whisper it so nobody's listening, right? I got a chance. Somebody said to me, "You got a ticket for the game today?" So I've got 5 games in a row as of tomorrow, and the game yesterday. This is my only day off, and I went, actually, yeah, I'll probably go. Is it for the press now? No, it's in with the England fans. But sorry, I'm not bothered. I just couldn't. And it's not just the fact that a camera might zone in on me sitting among the England fans. I was told that the atmosphere was actually quite funny. I just thought, even though it's only 10 minutes down the road, I'm not going. I'm not having that. Stand in the middle of that.
Raheem Sterling's goal was brilliant. I mean, it was great finish. And Kane turned provider extraordinaire today, ironically, and looked very good. But will Phil Foden force himself into this lineup?
He's my first pick. I don't know about everyone else. He's my first pick, and then then you pick Harry Kane after that, and then you fill in around him, right? And then he doesn't start. I have to say I was gobsmacked by that. But he must have looked to the opposition and seen the liveliness and the pace that he had on there. But I suppose it's a tournament, it's a long tournament, and I honestly think he picked a team thinking it was going to be stuffy and hard, and then he was going to bring on Foden or Grealish at the end when the opposition were tiring, and they would, pick them apart when they were tiring. It never got that far, but I have to say I was staggered that Foden didn't start, but he didn't. They started brilliantly. He'll get his chances. I'm sure he'll get his chances. I think he's fabulous.
Okay. Enjoy it out there. Might chat to you in a week or so, and I'm sure you'll settle in and get a better feel for the whole event. That'd be good. Okay.
I've got a great story to tell you about who I met before the game yesterday. Remind me to tell you. It was very funny.
All right, okay. Teaser. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.